What's going on, everyone from LowKick MMA? My name is Podolsky, and I'm joined with Kamaka III. He is set to return at Bellator this Saturday when he takes on Adli Edwards. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
And just first off, how this fight come together and how's all your training been going?
Um, Good. The fights. The fight came together like right before I left for Ireland with Jeremy, and the camp's been I pretty much been locked in camp for some good time now. So I'm excited for this fight.
Yeah, and you're fighting in front of your home crowd in Hawaii. How important is that to you to be able to fight in front of your home fans?
Uh, it's important because you don't know when these opportunities will stop. Like one day this will all be over, and then um you got to make the most of every opportunity you get to be able to fight in your hometown at the highest level. That's the main thing.
Yeah, and so your last fight in Hawaii didn't go your way, and does that sort of add any sort of fuel to the fire to try to get that one back and win one for your home crowd?
I mean, yeah, no, I guess. It doesn't matter where it's at. The loss is the loss. Doesn't matter. It still stings, and yeah. It just sucks that everybody over here seen it, but no, it doesn't really matter. It's the loss that hurts.
Hmm. Are you still training at Extreme Couture for this fight?
Yeah, yeah.
And how has training gone with you, and who have been your main partners for this fight?
Main training partners, obviously, Jeremy Kennedy, Nathan Levy, guys like Julian Rosa, Zach Busola, Keenan Kawhi High. Um, lots of good guys. Lots of good guys. So we just got a
And you mentioned someone like Julian Rosa as a guy who's got a fight coming up against Fernando. How do you see his fight going?
I see him winning. He's been at the highest level for he's for a while, highest level for training. So I feel like he's gonna get the job done. We have the right good minds around us, and we have the resources around us to keep us honest and get the job done.
Yeah, and so this will be, your fourth fight with Bellator in just about a year and a half. It's a pretty busy schedule for you. How important is it for you to stay active? And is that, are you just someone who's constantly training, whether you're in camp or out of camp?
Um, it's important. It's your job. If you're a handyman or you are a sales guy or you are whatever you are, you need jobs, right? You cannot just work once, twice a year. You gotta work, and it's the same thing. We get paid to fight. So the more you fight, that means the more jobs you got. So that's it, like simple math. If somebody's only depending on where they at, one to two times a year. I'm pretty sure no job is gonna really cut it like that in the type of work that we're in.
Yeah, and so being in Bellator, how has, management compared to when you were in the UFC, how has management treated you? And do you feel like you found your home in Bellator, or could you see yourself going back to the UFC down the road?
My focus right now is being the best fighter that I am, whether it's Bellator, UFC, just being the best, keep climbing. I think if I improve on myself, everything is gonna speak for itself. Yeah, I'm with the same management that I'm still yet with Brian Butler, second one to payment. So I feel like if I just keep knocking him down, nothing's not gonna can't get denied. There's certain things that I feel like can be handled differently, like not maybe from whoever side it is, but um, whether Bellator, UFC promotion side, or my manager. But like that's only my personal feelings, and then it's up to I. But then I still have a job to do myself, and I gotta do my part. So and I gotta do my part again Saturday.
Mhm. And so I want to ask about, your cousin Ray Cooper III. big PFL name, 2021 champion. A, any fight news on him that you can tell us? And B, how has sort of seeing his success inspired you?
Yeah, I don't know when he's scheduled yet. He's still waiting to get booked, or still figuring some things out with PFL. But as far as like his success, that he's one of my biggest motivations, if not my biggest. He's my first cousin. We're super tight. Grew up together, and to him to have that kind of success, like right by me, when I'm right by him, at the, being able to come up with that, that's a blessing. Not everybody can see that kind of success up close like that. And it's very motivating, very assuring as far as like what am I doing, what the work I got to put in. That so that helps me in a lot of ways.
Mhm. Could you see yourself, in PFL in the future and trying to get a chance at that $1 million reward?
Um, I mean, it was an option. It was presented at what point when I was leaving the UFC, but I just my management, he felt that at that time Bellator was the best option.
And so, looking past this fight, let's say all goes well and you get the job done. How busy do you want to be, and what are your sort of long-term goals with Bellator?
And my long term goals is to climb the ranks of where I'm at, with the pool that I'm at, like whether UFC, Bellator, and right now that's Bellator. So yeah, just keep climbing the ranks, of where I'm at, of the guys on the roster, and that's the only goal I have right now. To beat the next guy I have in front of me, like even Adli Edwards, and the next guy after that, the next guy after that. Not gonna, not gonna, not gonna take too big of a step. I feel like I have in the past. Not even like bad, but like, as far as like timing wise and whatever, I'm just gonna, the next guy, the next guy.
And for this fight specifically, have you gone to watch any of Adley Edwards' previous fights? Is that a big part of how you train? And what sort of advantages do you see over him?
Um, I don't know. I mean, this is like cliche to say, but I feel like I'm better than him everywhere. I mean, yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like I have better boxing. Does anybody feel like he has better boxing than me? I feel like he has better kickboxing. Does he have better wrestling? Does, has he faced with better competition? Has he been fighting at this level before this? Does he have better? I have. I don't know. I think I have a lot. I'm in a better spot. I have a lot better resources than him, coaches. I don't know. That's just my personal feeling. I have a higher IQ. Um, that's my personal opinion. I don't know how everybody else feels, but from feet to floor, I don't know where he has a better skill set than me. You know, uh, so that's my personal opinion.
Mhm. And so, the Vegas odds kind of represented that sense. You're, a considerable favorite for this fight. Is that something you pay attention to at all, or is that something you don't even care about?
I didn't even see the odds for his fight, but like I don't really pay attention to it. I mean, I was a 3-1 on 7 days' notice. I was a 3-1 favorite on Jonathan Pierce, and I thought I was. I mean, I thought I was a better guy. I took the fight. I just took the fight last minute. I feel like I can beat Jonathan Pierce. I feel like I was, and I feel like if I had more time to prepare, I mean, I stepped in on 7 days' notice. But odds, so that just tells you odds don't matter.
Mhm.
So that
And
was
so,
a huge favorite against him.
and you're someone where, you've taken a lot of short notice fights, but this is a fight where you've had, several weeks to prepare for. Do you think that gives you a big edge that you have a full camp for this one versus taking a fight on short notice?
Yeah, I mean, because I mean, there's you just have more time. You have more time to dial in, and because you can still win on short notice fight. I have, but like you just have more time to prepare, more time to like be dialed in on the details of certain positions that you've been working on, unrelated to the opponent. Just places that spots and positions you've been working on to get better. And you just have a lot of time to be training and locked in on the on it on those positions on a fight on your diet. That's a lot of times you can be locked in. Learning new stuff unrelated to the guy, just skill building.
And a couple other fellow Hawaiians I want to ask you about. First off, is Dan Ige. He's at Extreme Couture. Have you gotten to work with him at all?
Yeah, I think we sparred like twice in this camps, and then we got like some grappling and wrestling rounds in. Yeah.
And so he has, a lot of success in the UFC. He's currently ranked. He's got a big fight coming up against Nate Landwehr. Do you have any thoughts on that fight? How do you see it going? And is he someone who you kind of look up to and see, if he can succeed, I can, sort of replicate that success.
For sure. I mean, any success, like I look at. I mean, Dan. Obviously, he's right there in Extreme Couture, right? We're about the same size. He's a little bit. He's like 5 years older than me. So yeah, I mean, it's from he's from North Shore of Oahu. So you kind of course, that's motivated to see. And I train with him. I train with him. Train up. We spent a lot of time training together. So of course, that's something that that helps with like assurance of what I'm doing. But as far as the fight go, man, I think that's a perfect fight for Dan. It's gonna be a great fight, good fight for Nate too. But it's gonna be an entertaining fight. I think Dan gets it done though. I think Dan has more power. In my personal belief, I think Dan has more power than Nate Landwehr.
And so another guy I got to ask about is Max Holloway. He's someone you've trained with at various points, right?
Oh yeah. I was like for certain thing like Frankie Edgar. Frankie Edgar camps. I was training with Max specifically. To be like to emulate Frankie for those camps, but then I also trained him outside of those camps as well.
And so he's someone it's like him and BJ Penn are probably the two most successful Hawaiian UFC fighters. But in terms of like current UFC fighters, it's Max Holloway. He just picked up, his big win against Arnold Allen. Did you get to watch that fight at all? And, what are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I watched that fight. It was a great fight. Great fight to put us Hawaiians into fight week. And Max is still here. Like he said, he's still here. He's still he's still one of the guys. He's the other guy besides Volkanovski. It's just he can't get over that hump. And sometimes there's those guys where they just got your number, but that doesn't mean you're not gonna have a day where you beat them. There's days where the greats, or the underdog comes out on top, and I mean, if he's the only other guy, eventually they're gonna have to face again. Realistically, I mean, unless you just don't give a guy a shot because he lost to this guy so many times, that doesn't mean the champion gets to beat every other guy because you lost to this guy. You know what I mean? It's like there's championship teams that go against the same team every year and lose and lose and lose, but then there's that 1 year they won. That 1 year they why can't that be the case? Why that might be the case with Max. I mean the only other thing that stops that is like business, right? Or is it's not sellable or whatever, but like sport wise, that the underdog coming out on top after losing to a team over and over and over, or that's what happens all the time. Wrestling, lose to a kid so many times, and then today you beat him. That's
Do you think Max could get that fourth fight with Volkanovski, or do you think, you could see him moving up to 155?
I feel like he's gonna beat everybody else to where they're gonna be pushed into a corner to where what are you gonna do with him? I mean, he just beat the prior he beat the interim champ, beat Yair Rodriguez in Yair Rodriguez type of fight. So I mean, did he fight Volk before or after that?
Mhm.
He fought Volk. Oh, I guess he fought Volk after that. Um, so, but so I think he'll. I don't know. You're gonna have to give him the fourth fight unless you just want to keep somebody. You want to have Max on the side, and then the division right here, and he just fights other. I don't know. That's how it looks, right? Max is here, Volkanovski is here, and then you have an interim champ that. So they might just keep it that way, I guess.
Mhm. It's interesting because Max has, beaten Yair, he's beaten Calvin Cater, he's beaten Arnold Allen, all three guys who, had they beaten Max, would have fought Volkanovski. So it puts Max in a weird spot. I think it's possible he can move to 155 in the future. But glad I was able to get your thoughts on that. And then, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Just my final question, Saturday this fight goes down. Give me your official prediction.
What is that?
Give me your official prediction for this fight.
I want to fucking pound Adli Edwards. That's it. Like I feel good. I feel good about like my body feels good this week. My training has been good. I finished off training camp probably the best I've like real cliche to say, but I just finished off strong, and I just feel like pounding.
Mhm.
I'm just and it's just that's it. I will say it like it is. Like I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. Like and be like and want to sweet that. Like I feel good. My weight is in a good spot. Um, it's evident. My energy levels this week feel good. We worked out hard like last night, and I feel good. I'm back home. I'm angry what happened about the last time. When I was in Hawaii, I'm I'm just angry about like certain things that tick me off. That you know on who gets pushed in MMA, who gets pushed on this card. I feel like I'm the next guy from Hawaii. I feel like the young kid that's from Hawaii that's still going like that's pushing it. That's uh doing his part as the doing my part as the fighter. Promoting my fights, promoting myself, but also not just promoting, getting better, doing my part as far as the martial arts side. I can't wait to freaking take it on Adli Edwards.
Mhm. Fair enough. Guys, Kai Kamaka returns this Saturday at Bellator in Hawaii. Kai, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you, buddy.
Best of luck.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.